But yeah, I just feel like
I think he got 7th at Rising Grind.
he got 7th at Rising Grind, and that was like getting 7th out of like 600 being an upset means that you're obviously like a very talented, scary player. But yeah, not only is Onan doing really well, and the Steve meta is already a lot faster, but seeing these top-level wins from Steve just, you know, in rapid succession all over the summer, that means his meta is going to grow even further. There's going to be the Steve players that are going to be working harder, seeing what Onan did, and there's also going to be new players being like, well, I guess I'll just pick up Steve, and then trying to, you know, replicate what they can. So all that aside, that character is insane. He went Cloud. Okay. Yep. Good choice, Anthony, because
don't pick payroll into Steve in Minecraft.
Good Lord, no. So yeah, this could be really good. Cloud is one of the harder characters for Steve to deal with. That back air specifically can interrupt the walls really well. It can deal with a lot of Steve's like aerial spacing, and it looks like he's mostly just committed to back air. And honestly, that's not a bad plan.
No, it's not really even allowing any kind of wall to be formed in the first place, right? But
there we go.
All it takes is one mistake, right? And then you see the 0 to 50. Damage output from Steve is still crazy, even if you don't consider like the insane stuff. Like bread and butter Steve still does a ton of damage.
Right. Oh, no! You're not going to get it in time, buddy. Yeah, I was wondering about that. So if you're watching and you're confused about that interaction, so limit cross slash, yes, it does do a lot of shield damage, but you can always react and parry the final hit, and you get like an 11, 12 frame punish every single time you see it. So what I've done a lot is like if I'm playing a Cloud, I'll actually bait them into doing that just so I can get like a free punish for it and like take a stop. But I don't think Pig was ready to go for the parry, or maybe he wasn't aware, because that was a disaster shield break at only 60%.
You also don't really see it shield break that often, because a lot of the time the 5th hit will just poke. And that, but the fact is that just the place that Anthony placed that cross lag, the dead center of it was on the center of Steve, so it was not going to poke at all. And Blade being over that dirt block, just creating, now this is a dominant lead. I mean, the dominance continues as a dash tech eats the jump get up. Yeah,
we weren't kidding. Cloud is really tough for Steve. He's still on wood tools. AnthonyIsntCool is at 125%. Throwing out that limit cross lat, or excuse me, that limit blade beam, just because Pig finally finding the first stock with that back air, but he's got a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah, he's barely mined. You mentioned it early on. Like he's just fighting for his life to keep this Cloud at bay. The spacing from Anthony has been more or less perfect.
Yeah, it's been really strong spacing. He's also had a lot of limit. Like, this is like the 5th time I've seen him glow blue, and it's been like maybe 2 minutes.
Yeah, he's thrown out now 4 blade beams and a cross slash, I think. And it's, okay, this is his second stock, right? He did lose the stock, but so much limit. And that would have poked him, that was a shield poke setup, and if you jump, you die anyway.
Yeah, and then that, we were talking about that back air, that's one of the moves that can actually challenge minecart. That's a move that goes unchallenged very often, just because like the risk reward for trying to beat that minecart out isn't really that good. It's very heavily weighted in Steve's favor, but because Cloud has a disjoint that covers a little bit low and a little bit high, he covers a lot of range all at once, so it takes some of the guesswork out for like punishing him. And it paid off in spades right there. Pig was forced to try to use it to come back to the stage, and Anthony just wasn't having it.
Right, and minecart and disadvantage is one of those habits that you need to punish. Like,
you have to punish it, yeah.
If you don't have the tool of Cloud's back air, which helps deal with minecart, you know, even after it starts up, you have to catch the startup. You need to be like in Steve's face when he's off the stage, knowing the angle that he's going to want to press the minecart button. And it just looked like simple for Anthony in that game, not going to lie.
Yeah, it really did. One thing I think we'll need to see from Pig at this point, and we just saw a little bit of it right there, he's going to have to start parrying those back airs, I think. Like, not necessarily trying to like beat it out, but at least make it less scary like defensively, so that Anthony isn't getting as much for it. All right, we're seeing those big Steve combos here. Not going to get the block he needed to go up for that up smash, but still getting a considerable amount of damage. Anthony has limit on deck, and if Pig makes another big mistake like we saw in game 1, that could be disastrous. And there it is! The exact mistake I was afraid of. Being caught near the edge of the blast zone with that blade beam is going to do it. Only at like 85–90% for Pig.
Yeah, and that was another blade beam set up by a back air beating a minecart, right? Like,
Ooh!
It was a little early. Okay, well, okay. Steve can break shields too, turns out.
I love taking the time to be like, well, I do need some resources. Let me go grocery shopping real quick. Like, hold on, he'll be fine. We gonna take the stock.
Get some redstone, get some diamond. That worked out basically perfectly for Pig.
Yeah, that was really smart. Oh, all right, we're seeing the advanced combos come out once again, another free 39%. But Cloud out here just raising a roof.
Yeah, he DI'd down and up aired out of it. You don't really see that up air as like a disadvantage tool anymore these days. Back you and I lived through that Smash 4 meta where the hitbox started at his feet. God,
the darkest times, man. It was insane, that hitbox. So yeah, this is a much more even game. Whoa, I like that.
That was a bait and a half. I got hit by that, by the way.
I might have got hit by that, yeah. All right, now we're starting to see Pig kind of respond to that back air a little bit better. He's just going for these, he's just shielding it and just throwing it when he lands. That's really smart. So Anthony's got a good game plan, but Pig is starting to figure out what he should do about it.
And now, again, you have time with a lead here. You don't want to, I think Pig does not want to use this diamond yet. Save it for the last stock.
Yeah, there's no point. You're already at 100%. You don't want to, like, turn it on now and then just get burned for it. But he's doing really, really great with the stone tools. But that dare actually is going to take it off the top, and Anthony's going to go ahead and take that second stock. And Limit is just about ready for him.
Yeah, immediate diamond.
Yep.
Looking for the punish early as Anthony, but unfortunately, like, just kind of he was drifting to the left as he cross-slashed. That should have been, the full 30% or however much damage that does. But instead, well, okay, you're going to get the ledge trap anyway, but Redstone Minecart going a little bit faster, not able to pull the trigger on the back end.
Yeah, Anthony's definitely keeping his composure. He's like, all right, I'm only a little bit down. He's putting a lot more pressure on Pig. 67%, he has not been touched yet, just barely eats like a single straight aerial. Respecting that diamond forward smash, though. The knockback on that is crazy, as well as the shield damage.
Okay, and
nice.
Sneaking by the wood blocks there, Anthony is hanging in. But that dash attack was a great catch. He's going to have to burn the cross-slash energy for the recovery resource, right?
Yeah, he absolutely needed to use that limit up beat because Steve put a couple blocks out there. It's curtains for Cloud. Like, he doesn't have a great recovery to deal with that ledge trap. But doesn't matter. The Diamond Forest Smash is able to give Pig game 2, and now we have ourselves a 1-1.
Great adaptation so far from Pig.
Yeah, I definitely think he's adapted to it well. He's like, all right, cool. This back air, you're going to live and die by it, but as long as I can find a plan around it in this second game, then we're good. Also, it's funny that, like, we've seen 2 shield breaks in both of these games, so it seems like whoever gets the shield break seems like they win the round. Guaranteed.
It's mental damage.
It is a lot of mental damage. You're right, yeah.
That's why I go for them as Byleth. Not because I'm going to win, but because it's really funny.
Byleth also just does a crazy amount of shield damage anyway. Like, oh, did you block this down air? Shake my hand. Like, it's bad.
Did you shield an arrow?
Oh my god.
Shake my hand.
Right.
Battlefield we go here for game number 3.
Okay, Pig is really starting to turn up here. He's calling out a lot of Anthony's approaches with grab, and Steve doesn't even have like an exceptionally good grab, but I think the disjoint on it is just good enough for him to actually like cover a lot of how Anthony's trying to pressure him.
Well, if you have the right timing on how a Cloud player or any player is going to move, you can use that disjoint just at the perfect spacing, right? It's a tether grab, so it's a slow grab, which by frame data definition means it's a not great grab.
Ooh.
Where are you jumping, friend? Oh, the crafting block falling from the sky.
That's funny. That's really funny. Yeah, Anthony with a great call out that up smash. Frame 7 up smash. It's so good. One of the best ones in the game. Anthony certainly taking advantage of it. And yeah, looking pretty comfortable in this game 3.
Cloud needed it, Buff. What is there to say?
Yeah, that's what they thought.
He needs it.
All right. Oh, Anthony firing back, getting one jab. I thought he was going to be able to force him off stage. Not too much has come from it. This is definitely still a really good game for Anthony. Pig is he's looking a little lost. It's reminiscent of the first game where he hasn't had that much time to mine resources because he's just getting bullied so hard. Great
angle on the glide, man. Just sneaking by that cross slash, which was a checkmate situation. And okay, good combo right back with the up smash. Not out of it yet.
All right. He said, I don't even need the full string, just one up smash, and we'll be back in there.
Oh, that was a nice cross-up attempt, right, from Anthony. He went for the back air all the way through the shield, up smash instead. Pig didn't fall for it, but, dash attack has been over-reliable for a couple of these stocks for Anthony.
Oh, man, he just took so much damage out of nowhere, and now Limit is on deck to boot. He's got to be careful how he's recovering, and the drop zone Limit cross slash from Anthony is going to give that basically a 0 death. That was a stock in like 5 seconds. Yeah.
The damage output from Cloud's not to be underestimated here. And again, another stock set up by a minecart snipe.
Yeah.
Fundamental anti-Steve gameplay for Anthony isn't cool. Playing a great matchup, and you saw we mentioned the pockets go pretty deep for Anthony, but Cloud was definitely the right choice.
Oh, Cloud was absolutely the right choice, and every single time Pig was in that weird kind of like horizontal space where he needed to do something drastic to come back to the stage, Anthony had it covered time and time and time again. We saw a little bit of creativity responding from Pig when he like glided under the Limit cross slash, like he started to mix it up, but every time he'd be like in that position where you're expecting minecart to come out or something of that nature, Anthony just had a back air for it. He had a punish for it. And that honestly ended up being the difference maker because he was losing those stocks early. He was dying at like 65, 70, 80.
He died probably at like 75 after the cross slash hit on that last stock. I
Right.
wanna say.
Even with the blade beam he threw out in the beginning of game 2. So, like, he had that space really, really well covered. I don't think Pig's advantage state was fine, but I think his disadvantage was getting really, really taken advantage of by Anthony, and that ended up being the big difference maker, I think.
And great set. Again, all good ones. No stinkers yet.
No stinkers.
And I think the next one is going to be